Your body hid the passcode until you were ready to decode your creative power. In the next few minutes, you will access a somatic sequence that unlocks 5 sealed centers within you, regions of the body that operate like vibrational vaults, guarding the force you feel pulsing but can never release. This containment is not your failure. It's ancestral protection that only disarms when you learn the right language. While these seals remain closed, you live with 30% of your capacity to manifest, create, and transform reality into matter. The passcode you are about to receive is not in any self-help book, any guided visualization, any mental technique. It was encrypted in your own body, and if you leave this video now, you will keep feeling that invisible weight of imprisoned potential without knowing that the key was always 5 gestures away. But before revealing the full passcode, you need to understand why your body decided to hide it. There's a reason why certain regions of your body remain dormant, even when you try to force them awake. Your organism was built as an architecture of vibrational portals, structures that only release manifestation frequencies when they detect internal coherence, total presence, and absence of threat. When these portals are closed, you feel that sensation of being trapped inside your own skin, carrying something immense that never finds an exit. It's not lack of effort. It's a system operating in conservation mode, retaining energy until the right conditions are re-established. The sequence of the 5 vibrational keys you are about to learn works like a somatic language, precise gestures, intentional breaths, and conscious touch that communicate to the body. It is safe to open now. Each key activates a specific region of your fascia, your nervous system, and your bioelectric circuits, unlocking layers of containment that were inherited, learned, and coded over generations. You're not inventing power. You're removing the locks that prevented its natural circulation. In the mystery schools of ancient Egypt, the human body was treated as the Temple of Thoth, a sacred structure with inner chambers that required initiation rituals to be opened. These chambers were not symbolic. They were precise descriptions of neuroendocrine centers that, when activated through gestures and sounds, released altered states of perception and the capacity to mold reality. Hermetic alchemists knew the body was not a metaphor for transformation. It was the laboratory where it happened. Stephen Porges mapped the polyvagal theory and revealed that the nervous system has 3 states, and only one of them. The ventral state allows full access to manifestation and expression, the other to lock the body into defense modes. Candace Pert demonstrated that fascia stores emotions in neuropeptides, creating a bodily memory that blocks entire circuits until they are consciously released. What the ancients called sacred seals, neuroscience calls neuroendocrine regulation. Now that you understand why the vault was locked, it's time to learn how to open it. The passcode that unlocks the vault of your manifestation is not written in words, nor kept in visualizations or repeated affirmations. It is encoded in 5 somatic gestures, movements the body recognizes as a language of permission, signals that communicate to the nervous system that it is safe to release what was being held. These 5 centers form an integrated bioelectric circuit, a network of portals that, when activated in sequence, restore the full flow of your creative force. First key, anchoring the base. Locate the region of the lower belly, just below the navel, down to the pelvic root. This is the portal of raw life force, the point where your existence anchors into matter. When this center is sealed, there's a sensation of floating, as if you can't sustain presence in your own body. The base is responsible for rooting, the courage to exist fully, and the primordial impulse to manifest. Place both hands overlapped over the lower belly. Inhale deeply, directing the air down to the root of the body, as if you were filling a container from the bottom up. As you exhale, gently press your hands against your abdomen, feeling the density of your own flesh. Repeat 5 times, increasing the pressure with each cycle. This gesture communicates an ancient message to the nervous system. You are safe, you are present, you have the right to take up space. The physical marker of activation is a sensation of warmth or weight in the pelvic region, as if something that was scattered finally settled. Some people feel their legs steadier, their feet more connected to the ground. This is the sign that the first seal has been broken. Second key, awakening the sacrum. Now bring your attention up to the lower back, just above the hips. This is the center of sacred sexuality, of creative fertility, and the capacity to bring the invisible into material form. Blocks here generate deep stagnation, ideas that never materialize, projects that evaporate before they're born, a sense of inner sterility that has no name. Bring your hands to the lower back, fingers pointing down, and make slow circular movements, clockwise. At the same time, make small pelvic movements, as if you were drawing circles with your hips. Breathe fluidly, without forcing, allowing the air to circulate through the lumbar region. This gesture dissolves layers of guilt and shame that have accumulated around pleasure and the capacity to generate. The physical marker is a sensation of flow in the lower back, as if something previously frozen began to melt. You may feel warmth, tingling, or a gentle pulse. This is the awakening of the portal that connects desire and manifestation. Third key, activation of the solar plexus. Now move up to the abdominal region between the sternum and the navel. This is the fire of personal power, the center of action and self-assertion. When the plexus is constricted, there is paralysis in the face of decisions, fear of being seen, self-criticism that corrodes you before you even try. The containment here prevents intention from translating into movement. Place your hands firmly over your abdomen, fingers interlaced. Inhale deeply, expanding the region. As you exhale, emit a prolonged, low sound, ha, while releasing the sound. Press your hands against the abdomen, consciously compressing the region. This gesture releases accumulated tensions, disarms the invisible knot that traps your capacity to act. Repeat 5 times, increasing the intensity of the sound and the compression. The physical marker is a sensation of radiant heat in the abdomen, as if a fire previously smothered finally found oxygen. You may feel the plexus less armored, your breath freer, an impulse to move that was previously blocked. Fourth key, opening the heart. Now shift your attention to the center of the chest, between the nipples. The HeartMath Institute has demonstrated that the heart emits the largest electromagnetic field in the human body, up to 5,000 times more powerful than the brain. This portal governs emotional intelligence, compassion, and alignment with a greater purpose. When closed, there is a deep disconnection from yourself, from others, from the mission that pulses beneath the surface of everyday life. Place the palms of your hands on your chest, one over the other. Breathe expansively, feeling the chest widen in all directions. With each inhalation, visualize the electromagnetic field of the heart expanding like concentric waves. With each exhalation, gently tap your palms against the sternum, creating a vibration that resonates within. This gesture synchronizes the heart's rhythm with the rest of the body, re-establishing internal coherence. The physical marker is a sensation of opening in the chest, as if something previously compressed finally found space to breathe. Some people feel old emotions rising to the surface, not to be repressed, but to be released. Fifth key, releasing the throat. Finally, Move up to the cervical region where the voice lives. This is the portal of authentic expression, the channel that translates inner power into sound, word, and concrete manifestation in the world. Blocks here silence creation before it's even born. You feel what you want to say, but the words don't come out. You know what you need to create, but something jams at the moment of expressing. Bring the index and middle fingers of both hands to the sides of the throat, just below the jaw. Apply light pressure, as if you are opening an inner space. Inhale deeply through the nose and, as you exhale, emit prolonged vowel sounds. A, E, E. O, 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 O. Allow each sound to vibrate in the throat, feeling the vibration spread into the skull and the chest. This gesture clears the channel of expression, removing layers of silencing that were imposed or self-imposed. The physical marker is a sensation of space in the throat, as if something previously tight finally loosened. You may feel your voice deeper, steadier, more yours. When you perform this complete sequence from the first to the fifth portal, something inside you You feel the exact moment when the previously interrupted flow is restored. It might be a heat that travels up the spine, a breath that finally drops to the bottom of the body, an impulse to move that had been absent for months. This is not imagination. It is physical, measurable, trackable, unlocking. Let me show how this sequence transformed someone who was living exactly what you live now. Kendra woke up every day at 6 in the morning, made coffee, checked the hospital rosters. At 45, she worked the afternoon shift as a nurse. Familiar routine, stable salary, a life that ran on autopilot. But something inside her was frozen. She looked at the walls of the house and felt she should paint them a different color. She looked at the empty notebook in the drawer and felt she should write. She looked at her body in the mirror and felt she should move differently, speak differently, exist differently. But nothing moved. Ideas got stuck in her head. The will died before it became a gesture. An elderly patient she had been caring for months gave her a thin, worn-covered book about ancient body practices. "Read the part about the seals," the woman said, and explained nothing more. Kendra read it that night. They weren't pretty or philosophical words. They were direct instructions: where to touch, how to breathe, what sounds to make. She tried it alone in the living room, in the middle of the night, with the lights off. Hands on the lower belly, air descending to the root, movements in the sacrum. On the fourth repetition, something gave way. A strange sensation, as if something tight inside her chest finally had space to breathe. The throat opened. The plexus softened. She cried without knowing why. In the following weeks, Kendra painted the living room yellow. She started writing before bed. Nothing deep, just what she felt, unfiltered. She stopped accepting extra shifts she didn't need to take. She started saying no without guilt, yes without fear. The body responded. She woke up, rested, laughed more, felt like dancing while cooking. People around her noticed. "You're lighter," they said, and she was. Not because she changed her life, but because she finally inhabited the life she already had. This transformation Kendra experienced, you can anchor right now in your own organism. When you perform the sequence of the 5 keys, pay attention to the physical marker, the breath that finally descends to the root, the warmth that settles in the sternum, the jaw that softens without you noticing. This is the sign that the portal has opened. To seal this new state, create a return signal gesture. Every morning, before starting your day, place one hand on the lower belly and the other on the heart. Inhale to a count of 4, hold for 2, exhale to a count of 6. Repeat 3 times. This gesture reconnects the circuits and communicates to the body. You are operating in the open state, not the closed one. Whenever you feel the old pattern wanting to return, that sensation of locking up, of disconnection, of imprisoned potential, use the return point. Stop where you are. Take 3 deep breaths, carrying the air down to the base. Place your hands over the plexus and say internally, I allow the flow to be restored. Keep your posture upright, feet firmly on the ground, chest open. In less than a minute, you will feel the axis restore. This is not visualization. It is trackable, somatic reconfiguration. What you just received is not a technique. It is reconnection. When the 5 portals open in sequence, something inside you reorganizes. This is not a promise. It's physics. You feel the breath arriving where it didn't arrive before, the warmth spreading through regions that used to live frozen, the impulse returning without you needing to force it. This doesn't happen because you learned a new technique. It happens because you removed the locks that prevented the natural flow of existing. For centuries, Sufi masters taught that the body is the secret garden where God plants seeds of power, not as poetry, as fact. The body is not a passive vessel of the divine. It is the territory where the invisible becomes visible, where intention turns into matter, where what you call you finally finds form. When these centers are sealed, you live as a foreigner inside your own skin. When they open, you recognize this was always your home. Nietzsche wrote in Thus Spoke Zarathustra, there is more wisdom in your body than in your deepest philosophy. He wasn't romanticizing. He was pointing to something. Science took decades to confirm that the body does not take orders from the mind. It holds its own intelligence, coded memories, portals that only open when you speak the right language. And God is not watching from afar. He breathes within you every time the flow is re-established, every portal that opens, every seal that is broken. If you ignore what you discovered here, the body will return to containment mode. Not out of failure, but out of ancestral intelligence. It protects what you're not ready to carry. But now you are. And the responsibility to keep the portals open is yours. Use the anchoring gesture you learned. One hand on the lower belly, the other on the heart. Conscious breathing whenever you feel the seals wanting to close again. This reconnects the circuits in less than a minute. You didn't watch this video by chance. Something in you knew the passcode existed and that it was time to decode it. The vault is open, and the power that has always been yours can finally flow. If this video resonated with you, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Every person who receives this knowledge expands the field of collective consciousness. If you wish to directly support Transcend's mission and help bring this wisdom to more people who need to awaken the power they carry within, consider becoming a channel member. Your contribution keeps this current of somatic transformation alive. I want to know, did you feel the moment the passcode was recognized? Write in the comments. I decode my creative power and open the portals of my sacred body. This affirmation anchors your presence on the path of conscious manifestation. Share this video with someone who is living with the seals closed, feeling the force vibrate inside, but unable to access it. And don't stop here. Click on the screen and watch the channel's next transformative video. Each portal you activate is a piece of your destiny that stops being theory and starts to pulse. Remember, the body doesn't keep secrets from you. It keeps you from your own secrets until you are ready to carry them.